Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
Aiden, if there's a Ricky Stenicki prequel series, we'll talk to you about it.
And guess what? This guy's wife has gone missing. Ain't that a suspicious conundrum?
Anyone know what that is?
That's a. Is that your rear window? Aiden, you ruined the bit. Ba 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 ba.
Guys, we need to somehow fix the automaton.
I tested it beforehand and it worked, but it didn't this time. So I don't know.
This is so sad.
Ice cream.
We're retiring the automaton.
See, let me tell you something.
And,
people only remember the Celsius podcast for the automaton working and how we have never, ever forgotten to do the weather in a single episode.
You know the weather here? 58.
Wow. Imagine.
And don't worry, Aiden already has it ready.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah.
63. Oh, add.
Premium
63.
And where is it in Belgrade?
That's a good question.
Yo, that's us. That's me.
It is.
It's like so delayed, but
Give me a second. Where is it?
Are you the monster?
54 degrees.
Belgrade. I
Imagine.
love Belgrade. You know what I love more than Belgrade? The podcast.
Bell peppers?
So, like,
No.
let's think about what do we want to talk about on this podcast? Do we want to start with what we're watching, or we have a lot of topics?
I think Beck has two stories to tell. We start off with a recurring story and end with the other story. And in the middle, put things that we have been watching. Now, the thing is, it's only been a couple days. We've got 5 days since the last episode instead of the usual 7.
Yeah.
So we might not have as much stuff to talk about.
However,
Yeah.
there has been a lot of news about TV and movies
There
that has come
that
out
we have
recently.
to talk about.
Mhm.
So
All right.
let's get into a story from Beckerty Lyons.
All right. I think we should start with, the reoccurring story, which has met its series finale.
This is
So
so sad.
It has met its series
Just because he's a
finale.
fucking loser.
I have
Yeah.
some bad news to break to all of you. You
No.
guys don't know this yet because I've been very deliberate about hiding it, but I'm out in senior elimination.
No.
No.
I can't believe it.
But I went out very cinematically. There was a lot of
Cinematically is certainly the way to put
payoffs
it.
to previous setups in my story.
Oh yeah, there's Chekhov's guns. There's Is there a third act break back?
There's
in
a
this?
third act.
Wow.
All right, so let's start off with this week. I had to wait. I don't think I did. Oh, did I mention this Friday? But I killed an
You did not.
I killed an Infocus member to stay in. For this
Damn.
week,
Yeah.
and I
We've
was
heard,
supposed
yeah.
to get my new target Sunday night. They did not send me an email, so I go into Monday panicking because I don't know what the new rule for the week is, and I don't know who my target is. So I show up to school, and I found out nobody got any emails because, whoever was running it just, I don't know, didn't send out the emails.
They forgot. B got in the studio.
So we eventually are like, okay, everyone is safe until 3:50, and we'll be sending out the emails. I find out the new rule for the week is to stay in. You need to keep the ball on the top of your head, holding it, and hop on one foot without using any support.
You don't technically have to. You just have to be on one foot.
Okay.
So technically, by walking, you can just alternate foot by foot, and most of the time, you're not on both feet.
Okay, yeah. But I find that out.
But you
and I
didn't think of
also
that, so
find
we
out
got
who my
out.
target is. And I actually know them from last year. So this is the first time in a couple weeks where I know who I'm after.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through all my classes. I walk out a second period right before lunch. And I'm going this way to lunch, and I see my target start walking this way. So I start walking this one. I'm like, should I get them? I realize I turn around in the middle of the flow of everyone. I have to push through people to actually get to them. And I start stalking them down the hallways. And then they eventually like turn a corner and there's a big straightaway. And I'm like, okay, I need to just try sprinting directly at them. It worked last
Same here.
time. It'll work again.
Will
Is
the
this
bag
the
of
second
In-N-Out fly this time though? Also.
I start sprinting, go like this, and then I see her, and I'm going to go. I have the ball in my hand, going to tag her, and then one of her friends sees me and is like, "Person's name," and then she realizes. Then of like, I get her, and I'm like, "I'm the GOAT. I got her out. I'm the GOAT, and I got a kill." So I'm like, I'm feeling good. I got a kill. I'm on top of the world. And then I find out that my new target, which was her target, is someone else I know that I think I can get out really easily. And then I'm walking to my bike because I'm about to leave, and I see the guy right in front of me with the ball on top of his head, but he's not like skipping. And I'm like, should I get him? No, because I'm not sure if it would count because I didn't get the email yet or the confirmation yet. So I decide, I'll just try to get him tomorrow. I send in the kill confirm. I wake up Wednesday morning and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a fine day. We're filming the podcast tonight. So
Brilliant.
if I stay in today, then I won't get to talk about Elimination until next Friday, and I'll probably be out by then. It'll be kind of like weird to talk about something a week and a half. So maybe I could get out today, but like I want to like try to stay in and like win it all. So I go in Wednesday, and I'm going in with this new strategy because I think I can never hop around the entire time. I'm not doing that. So I decide I am just going to maintain a 50-foot distance between me and anyone I see with a ball. So
Terrible plan.
I succeeded for 2 periods. So I get through 5th. I go to brunch. I get brunch. I go to 6th period. And then let me set up the kind of payoffs that were happening here.
The payoff. Wow.
Yeah. The first payoff. 3 weeks ago, during a free-for-all day, in 6th period, I tried to get one of my friends out during a free-for-all day. The bell had just rung. We were
Betrayal.
still sitting in the theater, and he was not carrying his ball, so I tagged him. But we disputed it because he said, I think the theater's still safe going into lunch. So I sent in the dispute form, and they say, the guy's not out. The kill did not count because the theater is safe at all times.
You fumbled, Beck. You fumbled.
Ooh.
And then I'm like, okay, that's one of the points. The other point is about 2 weeks ago, I got during my target one of these weeks was a guy named Declan. Different in focus Declan. This guy's
Declan? Oh,
a hero.
he's a junior. He's not playing.
Yeah, no, the senior Declan. And I'm like, okay,
This is
he's in
odd.
my comedy lit class. I feel like I can tag him during that. I did not have a good time to tag him, but I
Is comedy
realized
lit free? Can you get people?
no,
comedy
you
lit?
can't. It's but I think I can like
Oh.
get him when he's like walking out of comedy lit or something like that. But I was unable to. So then I see he's eating at the senior deck. That would be a good time to tag him. So I decide, hey, and my friend, I'm like, one of my friends starts walking past the senior deck. I like talk to him. I'm like, hey, do you want? I'm like thinking of going to go get my target out. It's like, oh, can I come watch? And I'm like, let's start walking there. We start walking, and the guy just immediately like stops randomly, and then I have to be awkwardly be like, hey, why you come following here? And we're making such a big scene that the entire senior deck starts looking at us. It's like, okay, so who do you have here? And I immediately give myself away. And now Declan knows that I have him.
Bro is
What-
such
what
a
what a
loser.
move.
And then
What a move.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like, I stand there and I'm like, you better watch out. You may be safe now, but you better watch your back. because I'm gonna
Not so
get
tough
you.
now, big guy.
I will win the war.
You're in the presence of the
Watch your
Sigma.
back. And then that night, I got food poisoning and was sick for the rest of the week. So
I like it. I like
it didn't work out. But
Didn't work out.
today, I'm walking out of Comedy Lit. I'm walking out and I see Declan behind me and I'm like, I'm not carrying my ball at all because I'm trying this new strat. And I'm like, hey, you
Oh,
don't
from not
have me, right? He's
trying?
like, no. But 2 weeks ago, I had you. It was really funny because we like had each other. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. I take one step out of the theater and he immediately tags me.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's about what you should expect.
And I'm
Beck,
like,
you fucking
fuck.
idiot.
I fucked
That's
up
actually
here.
that's just
So one
just
of my past targets got me using the information that I learned from when I tried to get someone out. It really felt like a full circle way to get out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus, you're such a loser. Holy
Wow.
shit.
I can't wait for Nikola to get out in the first week and just be like,
It's gonna be really funny. It is gonna be
but
really
I
funny.
was
But I
able to
listen, like,
take this iconic photo.
yeah,
I was
Bro really thinks he's
I was
him.
taking it very well,
He was
I
all
like
like, dude, I'm done with this. Why are you making me, why are you screaming on the ground?
Bro really thinks he's him.
Yeah.
Well, Beck, that's crazy. We have to applaud for you. How many people are left in the game?
I want to say made in the top 20.
Okay.
I definitely
So
outlasted each of you in your years. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Beck, you made it so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter.
Yeah, it didn't even
No.
matter. Maybe if I hadn't threatened the guy like 4 times that I would get him.
Maybe if you
I'll get
had
you.
the ball on you.
Maybe if I had gotten
Yeah.
him that week, I would have stayed in. We
Yeah,
can
Beck,
keep thinking
your
about
new
these
strategy did not
plans
work.
of like
'Cause, Beck, what the fuck were
actually
you
carrying the ball, but we could never say if it would have worked
Beck,
or
what were you
not.
thinking? Why were you? What was the strategy? You were like,
Dude, I was not
no,
gonna
I'm not gonna-
hop around for the next week.
Coward.
Aiden,
Coward.
which one did you get out on?
coward.
Before that, but I would have committed.
You would not. Dude, I tried
Oh, I would've
committing.
committed.
Like after 7th, I couldn't get out of the room of art before my foot started hurting. It was not gonna happen.
Beck, do you
Bro,
know what
you're actually such
alternating
a
feet
quitter.
are? Beck, do you know that when you're running, only one foot touches the ground?
Yeah.
You could just run everywhere
Oh
and
my-
you'd be fine.
To be fair, you would be kind of a
That's
loser
like
for running
against
everywhere,
the. I.
No, not against the rules. Legally, that's what running is, or else you're just walking.
Oh my god. I
So,
think they
Nikola,
literally
now
say
that
you
you
have to
have to-
hop on one foot. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was the wording.
Well,
But Nick-
hopping's easy too.
Nikola, now that
Yeah.
you've had 2 years of watching people participate in eliminations, what type of strategies will you implement for your elimination?
the
next
strategy
year?
that nobody knows where I live and nobody knows who I am.
Nikola,
so
if
basically
you
lie
want,
low and just
You
never
can
let go
win
of the
this
ball.
just by
Yes,
being
that's an easy strategy.
insanely antisocial. Like, just go to a ton of random clubs because you're safe during clubs. Go to free periods. Go to like,
Or just go to the library.
just go home the
Okay.
entire time. That's after school. Use your skip schools days on like the last couple weeks.
Yeah, if I'm at rowing, do you think somebody can tag me while I'm on the water? Do you think anybody
think
would be able
so.
to find a way to do
No,
that?
no, that,
you
that
can't be tagged on a bike.
that counts as
it's a boat.
extracurriculars and sports, I think.
Oh,
But
you
Nicola, I
can't get
thought-
tagged during extracurriculars.
Nikola, I
and
thought you
sports?
said you were
No.
done with rowing.
I probably am, but I'm just saying, like, theoretically, if I did.
Theoretically, he would
Hmm.
rejoin rowing just to stay safe in senior elimination.
Yes,
It's true.
everything is for senior elimination.
Yeah.
Everything he does in life, all because of that.
All right, well,
Leading up to it.
the legend of Beck Lyons is over. I
Wow.
mean, I
so
think my
sad.
name's as the guy that got out 20th and had like the 50th least amount of kills is gonna be etched in the halls of history.
Yeah, they're gonna future principals are gonna be like, this is the spot where
Yeah.
a great man.
They're gonna
catch-
they're gonna rename the Haymarket Theater to the This Is Where Beck Got Out Theater. You know?
long
So true.
name, but
I already smoked mine, Aiden. Sorry.
Yeah, well, how was it, Beck?
It was good.
It was good. Okay.
Yeah.
let's like loosen up with some entertainment news, okay?
Dude,
Sure.
I love some
Okay,
entertainment news.
So both Amazon and HBO did I guess
like showcase.
Entertainment Days release a bunch of news and trailers and stuff. So let's just go down through the list. This will be our entertainment roundup.
Stealing
Entertainment
my
roundup.
thing.
Okay, so here, wait, let me go to. Let's start with
Dune
Amazon.
Imperium.
Okay, we're starting with HBO. So HBO, you want to do this one back? The
Yeah.
Dune show.
New Dune show called Dune Imperium. Looks fire. It follows like how the Bene Gesserit were formed. The only thing
It's called Dune Prophecy.
Oh.
Honestly,
Dune
what you kept saying.
Imperium follows
It's Dune Prophecy.
Dune
Yeah,
Prophecy.
where did Imperium come from?
Oh, there's like a game called Dune Imperium.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Jesus
like a board
Christ.
game. Like
Okay, so
4X
Beck's not
strategy.
doing this one. So Dune.
No,
Dune
let's
Prophecy.
get Nikola to do it.
Oh,
As the real Dune
Nikola
head
is the
here.
biggest Dune fan. Aiden, if there's a Ricky Stenicki prequel series, we'll talk to you about it.
So
I don't want a
Dune-
prequel series.
I thought
That
no, you
sounds
don't.
awful. I
You
think-
don't want a Ricky Stenicki prequel series?
No,
Dude,
not
not
at
a
all.
true Ricky
It
Stenicki
just follows
fan.
the three boys and their exploits.
Beck,
Like
do
using
you want a
history.
prequel to Whiplash?
Yeah,
Holy
it's like
shit.
uh,
you don't really
What would
need
that
one
be
though.
about?
you know, it's like the guy and he's like a baby.
The guy who
and then
killed himself.
Fletcher's
You know?
like, do I bully this baby?
Bro, actually, no. A whiplash from the perspective, like from the side of the guy who killed himself, would kind of be fire.
Yeah.
Maybe
okay,
that's
so,
what I should do for my short film.
Yeah, that's
And then
about
incorporate-
financial inequality.
Yeah, why do you think he killed himself?
I think because
Anyway,
he
but-
like was
Real one.
bullied relentlessly.
He wasn't bullied. He was just weak.
Just
Yeah.
walk away.
just walk away.
What are
So
they gonna do?
10,000
You
years
know?
before the birth of Paul Atreides, we follow. This is gonna be a show about the Bene Gesserit. You know, as like I guess they're doing, their prophetical shit. Being witches and stuff. I feel like it's. I don't know if it's how much it's like based on the books, but I feel like it's like a new thing they're making based off the new movies. So there's not any like, I guess, succinct source material, but there's probably going to take a lot inspiration from the books and like the histories, I assume.
Yeah.
And
Nikola, as the foremost Dune lawyer fan, is there
Yeah.
like a precedent with a book that follows this, or
Not that I remember.
okay,
do we
Well,
know
it
if
seems
Dennis
interesting.
Villuente is involved?
Dennis Villuente.
That's his
You
name,
fucked
right?
that name.
I never mess up any names.
Denis Villeneuve.
Dennis Villuente.
Okay. Dennis Villeneuve. But no, it seems interesting. I think I might give it a watch. I like the Dune show, so it seems kind of
Yeah.
interesting in that ballpark.
I just really hope they
Um,
don't fuck it up because Dune is like at like peak popularity. If there's like a bad TV
Yeah.
show, that's not.
So true.
No.
Yeah. House. No, not House of.
Oh, I
Um,
love
The house always
House.
wins. Doctor
The
House.
Last of Us. The Last of Us season 2. We have our first images for.
Wow.
And I was
for
saying
the
this to
show.
Uri before the show. I feel like Ellie looks way too young. Because like if you look at the comparisons between like her and like the first game versus the second game, she looks so much older.
I feel like, and I said this to Beck before. I feel like she ages differently, but I feel like she's also different by the end of the game. And this game is going to switch to seasons 2 and 3, so I feel like she's going to grow more in season 3.
And I said this to Uri before the show, where it's like they're kind of constricted by the actors, where it's like they can't make them look too old, Or that'd be hard.
I
to-
mean, that's fine. I mean, like we can see, it'll be kind of like a different type of Ellie, I guess, for the show. It doesn't have to be 1-on-1.
I do
like,
think Joel
specifically.
will still play golf like around episode 1.
I really hope he doesn't play golf. It would be really funny. But
If
I
he
also
doesn't
really hope
play
that doesn't
golf,
happen.
I mean, people would
He's-
probably like that more, but like that golf scene
It
was
would be
fun.
better,
there's
but
no
it would also be
sto-
really. It would be so much funnier if he plays golf.
But there's no story if he doesn't play golf.
Yeah, literally.
Well,
Wait.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, no, that
I mean,
golf
no, but he
scene
just
was-
doesn't have to play. No, but like he can play golf, but just like.
Well, you
without
want to
the
play
golf club,
badminton
you know?
instead? I feel like that'd be
What
fun
is
to
going
watch.
on?
I'm saying he
losing
can
the
like maybe he can
metaphor.
visit the shoot. Maybe he can like visit the shooting range.
Visit the shooting range? That's less cinematic than the
So-
golf range, bro.
So
Really?
no,
The golf? It's less cinematic. It's less
Does he
like
not have the
impactful
golf?
than
The
golf.
golf
than
is a lot
golfing?
more personal.
Is it? Is golfing more personal?
Aiden, you ruined the bit.
No. He
Yes, no.
doesn't know the
Joel,
joke. He doesn't know the joke.
So essentially, I think they were probably. I'm gonna bet this. They're gonna do like his death at the end of episode 1. It's a do a big like shocker for end of episode 1 of season 2. You know,
Yeah.
and because I don't think they're gonna make it more than like a few episodes. Because like he dies in the
Like,
game.
if you think about
fairly
it,
quickly.
here's what happens before he dies. All you need to know is Joel tells Tommy about the Firefly incident. Joel now doesn't like, or Ellie doesn't like Joel now because she found out about the Firefly incident. We set up Ellie and Dina. They smoke weed, and then Joel dies. That's basically the 5 points you need. I feel like they could do that all in episode 1.
Yeah, they could probably cover it pretty well. And I feel like, guys, what do you think? I feel like yes, it's gonna probably follow the same story, but I do feel since it is like a new version of the show, I do think they might write it at least a little bit more cohesively in this new version. Because like I think something you see with like the Invincible show is that like Robert Kirkman is getting another chance to work on the story again. But anyway, what I'm saying is that I think they're gonna probably write the Last of Us season 2 a little bit more, probably better. It's still gonna be the same story, and I don't really care how you like feel about the story. I don't know if you like it, Beck, or
I
not.
think it's
I
good.
don't really know.
I like it. I like.
Beck hates
Really?
it. He just said he hates it.
I
can't believe it.
literally, I think it's a really good
Literally
story,
said that he
but
thinks it's
also
a
I've
really
never
bad
played the
story,
game, so
and also that he has played the game, and that's
all
where
I
all
know
this
from it
information
was
is
I
coming from.
watched like a video explaining it. And I'm like, that's a really good story.
And all he knows is that he hates the story because he's played the game.
I would play the game, but it's also expensive to buy a $400 console to play one game. So
But,
put it to PC, cowards.
But no, I think they're gonna probably write it better, and I'm excited. I really liked how they did the first season, and it went in my
Yeah.
S category.
I wonder if they'll do
For-
another thing they did, like episode
with
3, where it's
3,
Bill.
yeah.
It's really
Maybe they'll like
episode
focus
3.
on the they'll do an episode more on the Rattlers, but I feel like that's season 3.
Oh yeah, I feel like it.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
They could do a
are
lot
we
of
pretty
interesting-
sure they're gonna do season 2 follows Ellie's half of the game and the other half follows?
Well, I feel like they're gonna just cut between the two characters.
Really? I feel like it's the reason they didn't. Okay, the reason they didn't cut between them in the game was because the resources would have been really confusing, and like swapping between that.
Yeah, but I feel like for a show it makes more sense to cut between the two because it
Do
feels weird.
they take place at the same time?
They do. Basically, it takes 3 days of Seattle, where you play through the 3 days as Ellie, and then it jumps to you play the 3 days as Abby, and then they both
Then they make out.
merge.
And what I feel like people really did not like that since it was just like so weird. So I think like they're gonna fix that for the show is my thing. I
Yeah.
feel like because also in a
feel like
TV show you
you
wanna
can
you don't wanna follow one character for the entire time in a TV show. You wanna cut between the two.
Closely,
I mean,
that
I
season one followed
watched the
game. It was,
I
like,
watched
pretty
the
close, right?
documentary that they did behind like the making of The Last of Us Part 2, and it seems like they intentionally wanted it like you kind of see Abby throughout the entire 3 days as like this like really evil bad person, and then her half is kind of trying to make you like see that from her side of the story, you know?
Yeah.
That's
But,
that doesn't work as well if you're like just cutting between the two of them.
But I don't know. It feels like it would be too jarring to have that in a show format.
Maybe.
I'll be right back. You keep talking about your stuff.
Anyway, other than HBO, we got let's see. There's this is just House of the Dragon coming up. I've seen a lot of promo materials for
Yes,
that.
and I
Is
will
Beck
talk
gonna,
about.
Is Beck gonna?
I finished season 5 and 2 episodes of season 6, and I'll talk about them this episode.
Okay, talk about it.
You want me to talk about it now?
Yeah,
Is
we
that
can
all
talk
the
about it.
HBO Amazon news?
There's more stuff, but you want me to get to that first, and then you can talk?
I can do Game of Thrones quickly since we're on.
Yeah, we're on HBO. Why not?
Okay, yeah. So I'll just go through each character's plot line throughout season 5. So let's start with Arya Stark, Multiversus Rep. She basically leaves Westeros and goes to train with the many-faced guy, and then this whole season is her practicing, and in the end, she steals one of the faces, kills one of the people off her list, and then is cursed to be blind because she stole one of the faces. Okay, yeah, so Arya Stark, she's blind now, but she's like learning, she's like practicing and like doing stuff to maybe get her eyes back. I assume she does. But let's get to other plot line. Okay, in King's Landing, the whole plot line is this giant religious group is just gaining a ton of power, and they basically are able
Because
to,
following Tywin's death, there's a big void
yeah, and it's like
left.
being taken over by this like the seven gods people. I forget what they're called. But
Right.
they arrest the both queens, and then they're like gaining a ton of power, and the whole thing is like we find out the king doesn't really have the power to like fight them, and they're like kind of losing a lot of control like inside from
Damn.
within. There's not like an external force they can fight. And then Sansa Stark, she goes to Winterfell, and she's like, I gotta marry this guy Ramsay Bolton, because that'll give him more of a claim to the north. She marries him. Ramsay, terrible guy. So she's like, I gotta leave. She escapes. And then Ramsay kills his father and his.
Now he's Warden of the North.
Yeah, no, he kills his father, his brother, and his mother. So now he's the only one with like an actual claim to it. So that's big. And then what other thing that happens at Winterfell? We follow Stannis Baratheon. His whole time since like season 2 has been like, I am destined to take King's Landing. And this season,
Yeah.
he kind of like falls apart, where he goes and he's like, I need the wildling army to help take on or like take back Westeros. But then he doesn't get the wildlings. But he's like, okay, I'm gonna march to Winterfell anyway. And he gets caught in a blizzard, and like half his people leave. But he's like, okay, I'm kind of screwed here. And then like half his camp gets burned by some of Ramsay's people. He's like, I am so fucked here. We're gonna lose. And then the red-haired woman is like, I know how you can fix this. If you burn your daughter alive, you will win.
So true.
He ties his daughter to a stake and burns her alive while she's screaming.
I like
What's
it.
crazy
I like
about
it.
that is that his wife is all like, his wife is like crazy before that, Stannis' wife, but then
Yeah.
when he starts to like she's kind of like a bitch to the daughter, but when he actually starts to start to burn his daughter, she's like, no.
Yeah, don't do this. And then
she kills herself afterwards.
She does kill herself. Another half of his army leaves, and now they're all like tired, they're cold. They like have no numbers. They finally get to Winterfell, and they get immediately slaughtered. And Stannis Baratheon is eventually killed by Brienne, who I did not mention at all, but her thing is like, I need to protect Sansa Stark because I promised her mom I would protect her. But she sees Stannis acting like, I'm gonna get revenge for
Killing
Renly, and then she kills him.
Which, as I say, I think it's probably one of the worst things that happened in the show, because like, they built up Stannis to be such an important character, but they just kind of flail him out to be killed in the show.
Yeah, he does. He is like, I feel like it is kind of more to show like the desperation he has.
I guess.
Like, he'll do anything, and that's eventually what caused him to lose. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But
But I'm just saying it starts like a greater trend in the show where because this doesn't happen in the books at all.
wait, what? At what point is the books at right now?
The first season is pretty 1-to-1 with the books. The first, I guess, 2, 3, 4 are pretty accurate. But they change a few things. Catelyn Stark does come back from the dead as like a sort of zombie hunter, and
Fuck?
they name her Lady Stoneheart.
Wow.
This is a lot,
Tyrion never.
bro.
Tyrion has not even contacted Daenerys.
What I love about
in
this
the-
show is like when someone dies, they're dead. They just never come back. That's what I really like. So like, it just feels weird for them to just randomly revive a character.
That's kind of
Nah.
gonna become a pattern. Not really a pattern, but a couple characters kind of do that.
Beck, you say that, okay, but let's get to the end of season 5.
The end of
and then
season
start
5. It's almost like I was trying to set this up deliberately.
Yeah.
So, the end of season 5. Let's go to Jon Snow's arc. His whole
Jon
thing is
Snow.
he is now the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. He's like, the White Walkers are coming, and Uri, I need you to explain to me what the fuck the White Walkers are. Because is a White Walker
Just
the
kinda-
zombie, or are they all the people who can control the zombies?
They're just
control the
like-
zombies. They're just ice zombies
They're
essentially.
ice zombies, and they're different than the regular zombies.
What are the regular zombies?
So the White Walkers are this whole thing. But what about, like, they're like, they can kill like the regular people, but the other people they need like the dragon glass to kill them, right? Like, who are like the
So you
big
have
the people that like ride horses and like that are like look way more human than the other people?
I feel like those are more fresh. I guess just like they come back
Okay.
from the dead earlier.
But, like,
you know?
there's
they're
like
still white.
there's
They
like
come back. They're still White Walkers.
they're not like a specific subgenre or sub race of White Walkers. They're just regular White Walkers.
I think they're just regular White Walkers that just come. Yeah, just more. I guess more fresh before they've come fully White Walker.
Got
I
it.
guess,
Got it.
Is what
I thought they were like some
believe.
kind of special type.
Because you're talking about the hard home, right?
Yeah, hard home. Yeah.
Which hasn't happened in the books at all.
Oh
But,
wow. So I'm
and,
technically like past the books.
In some aspects, yeah.
So here's what one of my friends told me, where it's like seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are all based on books. Season
I would
6.
say mostly 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, yeah, and I remember like for 5 and 6, maybe like George R. R. Martin gave like very specific notes on like the plot ideas he had and like what he planned on doing for everything. But then season 7 and 8 was when they tried to freestyle and kind of bombed it.
Yeah. Because Tyrion hasn't even met Daenerys in the books.
Oh wow! Wait, they're really behind.
No, because he meets
Whoa.
a different in the books. He actually meets someone else that they've never introduced in the show. He meets this guy named in the books. Tyrion, instead of Daenerys, he meets this guy named Young Griff, who is
Young Griff.
who is essentially Are you familiar with Elia Martell and Oberyn Martell?
Yes,
correct?
yes, the Dorne people.
And so Elia Martell was married to Rhaegar Targaryen, right?
yeah,
And that was the older brother of Daenerys and Viserys, correct?
yeah,
And they had 2 children, Aegon and the Mountain. He killed little Aegon by smashing him into a wall, and that's why Oberyn's really pissed because he killed her children and he raped his sister and killed her, right? Well, young Griff in the books is supposedly little baby Aegon, but they snuck Varys snuck him out.
Oh,
And that's like a whole storyline in the books. But in the books, they sort of replaced that for just Daenerys with Tyrion. So
got it.
yeah.
And yeah. So he does this whole thing where he's like, we need to get the wildlings out of the like far north, because if
beyond the
they're
wall.
beyond the wall, because if they're still there, they'll just become part of the army of the dead, and they'll be even harder to fight. And also, we need to like save them. So there's this whole rescue mission to try to save them from Hardhome. But then the White Walkers attack, and they lose a ton of people. It's a big slaughter. They lose all their like dragon glass, which is their one weapon at like fighting them. And then he goes back and he lets the wildlings through the wall, which is something they have not done or that was only the one thing that the Night's Watch was made for, which is to stop the wildlings from getting past the wall. He lets them through, and then the entire Night's or one section of the Night's Watch is like, you fucked up. This is not what we stand for, and like 8 of them stab him in the chest, and he lays down.
Even little baby Ollie
stabs him in the heart.
Yeah.
And then
and Jon Snow is dead. He's never coming back. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah.
Aiden, can you hear me? He
dead.
is dead. He will never come back. He will never
I
come
was about to send when I saw that happen in the Celsius Discord. Bro, oh my god, they killed Jon Snow. And then I didn't. And I'm like, I really wish I did, because that would have been really funny. Because 2 episodes later, they bring him back from the dead.
Wow.
Melisandre, the witchy bitch that she is, she brings him back.
He doesn't even use any like special
in
like.
the book?
I don't think they haven't. He hasn't died in the books yet, right?
I don't know. But he comes back and he kills all the guys that kill him, even the little kid, you know. And
What?
Yeah. Oh, back what? Back
What
you
the
haven't gotten to that part?
fuck? Dude!
Oh, sorry. I thought you got to that episode yet.
He kills him? Oh my god, Uri.
Shut up.
This is why you let me do the talk.
Anyway,
I spoiled something for him that happens in season 6.
He told me
but
there's
I
a
did keep it
pie.
vague
I
enough.
don't know what the fuck a pie is. This one is he kills 8 people as a little boy.
I'm kidding, Bag.
Oh, he got me.
He's kidding.
Oh.
Anyway,
Okay,
right,
yeah.
Because you only got one revived, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like just
Okay.
got revived.
Anyway, and so
yeah, and then Dorne, I'll just go over the Dorne stuff that happened. They're like, okay, we need to go rescue
Dorne?
our daughter from Dorne because we just killed the Prince of Dorne, and that's not going to be chill.
Rip.
So they go and try to rescue them. But the sister is like, you killed my brother, you must die. But the actual prince is like, we don't spill blood here. And then they're like, okay, cool, let's go. And then we cut away, and the sister of the guy of Oberyn is like, it kills the daughter.
Rita's daughter.
Yeah, kills the daughter through poison.
Yeah, she kills. What was her name?
I don't.
Cersei's daughter.
Cersei's
right?
daughter, yeah, with poison, and then at the start of season 6, I think, she kills the prince and is like, I am now the leader of Dorne, and also kills
Damn, that's
her
crazy.
nephew. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's
And,
wild, man.
So that's, and we also Sansa meets Theon again, and she reveals to Theon reveals to her that he did not kill Bran.
Yes. Speaking of Bran, let's talk about his arc in the season. It was crazy.
He didn't appear this season.
He wasn't at all in the entire season. That's crazy.
They skipped this season for him.
Literally, like they've like touched on every plot line every season. Like it just has a rhythm of jumping between all these people. But this is the first time we've like just had a season that skips entirely over a person.
Yeah, he does appear back in season 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, he's shown up a bit, and I'm like, all we're doing is like getting like some backstory. He's like the most uninteresting arc.
They did that because they wanted to establish him working with the Three-Eyed Raven without actually doing it. So you have a time gap, you know.
Yeah, got it.
But Beck, Beck, did you say Bran's most uninteresting storyline?
It's very uninteresting.
Beck, mark my words. Who has a greater story than Bran the Bold? Who has a greater story
Why
than
is he
Bran
called
the
the fucking Bold? All he's done is like walk around. Bad choice of words. He doesn't walk around. I forgot that.
He's in the wheelchair. But Beck, mark this in your
All
words
he's
when you
done
finish
is
the
like
show.
just go north and then yeah.
Beck. When you finish the show, you're gonna text me and you're gonna tell me. You're gonna realize you had a greater story than Brand the Bold.
Okay.
Wait, no, Brand the Broken.
Okay, that's more fitting. Anything else? Oh, Daenerys and Tyrion plot lines.
Yeah,
Daenerys
this
and
season is just
Tyrion
really.
meet, and this is the first time Daenerys has actually met someone from
Yeah, so Tyrion's really depressed after killing his
killing
father because
his
nobody wants him.
girlfriend and his father.
And, that,
Because his
and now
girlfriend
he's
was
just like
sleeping with his
sad.
father.
And this is actually where they ruined the Tyrion storyline from the
And-
books. I
Oh,
would say.
you think they ruin it?
Yeah, because
It's been going good so far.
you'll see, I guess. But yeah. Anyway,
So he
but it is
decides to
interesting
team
what they
up with
do.
Daenerys Targaryen, and they're like, okay, we're gonna take back Westeros. And then they eventually, at the end of the season, Daenerys is attacked, and she just flies away and is captured by the horse people. And that's where I am. And
Wow.
I look forward to season 6, where
And season 7
you know,
and
I
season
think
8.
I would really like it if like there was some kind of plot where Jon Snow kills 8 people. I really hope that shows up soon.
Perhaps something in relation to Arya Stark and a dessert of some kind.
Yeah.
And the prize.
What the fuck is
Beck.
the? I need to finish the show so I can get the
This
Arya
is
Stark
the
multiverses
only
references.
thing I know about Game of Thrones is this one thing that Arya does, and it's in
I'm
multiverses,
gonna
and
assume
that's the
it's
only
like
reason I
Bugs
know
Bunny, and she like throws a pie at a character.
of. Sure.
Okay, well, that's Game of Thrones.
That's
Excited
Game of
for
Thrones
Beck to-
season
Season
5.
6 might be one of the best seasons, though. It is.
You
a great
said that about
season
season 4, so I feel like I feel good going like it goes up, and I'm gonna be really sad in season 7 when it goes down.
I bet Beck is gonna be the type of person to say like, I actually really like
No,
season
'cause-
8. You know,
All I've heard is that season 7 and 8 are the worst episodes of or the worst seasons of TV ever made. So I feel like it can
Wow.
defy my expectations.
but it's gonna be like, I actually really like the twist. I really like how it ends. You know, I'm a weirdo. I'm not like the other girls.
Here's the thing, though.
No,
Jon
he's
Snow
not
kills
like other
8
women.
more people, and I feel like
Here's the thing,
the
though.
ending.
Beck can have his opinions on a movie change.
If only
it's
there
been
was some
shown.
example of this.
Do you have an example, Uri?
Let's see. I didn't really like Akira that much when I first watched it, but then I thought about it more, and then later at lunch I was like, that was better. So I came from like a 3 to a 4.
Wow.
Okay.
What about you,
So-
Beck? Do you have any movies in which you've thought about it and then changed your score to be higher?
Anyone know
was.
what that is?
That's
Is that
is that your rear window?
a rear window?
That's crazy, guys.
Oh.
I traveled back in time to when the construction of this house was built to make sure a window was included there to make sure this bit worked out.
Wow, that's kind of
Very
incredible.
true.
So I made Beck go to see Rear
You
Window
didn't
because I
make
saw
me.
the
I'm the one that
challengers
said,
with
"Do
him.
you want to see Rear Window?" Okay.
No, because I was the one.
No,
that
because
said that
I
we were
was
going to Rear
in.
Window.
Because I was.
No,
I
so we
grabbed
saw
the
Rear Window.
portfolio and texted you, Rear Window. He's gonna pull out the portfolio.
Mine's right here.
I grabbed it first, Aiden. I grabbed the portfolio first.
No.
Pamphlet. So, does
I mean-
anyone know the hit 2012 film Rear Window? Hit
2012.
Yeah.
Did you say what?
What?
Came out 2012, right?
It came out in 2012, Beck.
Am I-
The movie Rear Window.
Wait, am I
You mean 1954?
close enough? So, it follows this guy, LB Jeffries.
Let me explain
I'll
Rear
do
Window.
M for murder then. Got it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I like Rear Window a lot more than you. So there's this guy. He's a photographer for the police, and his leg is broken. And all he can do is sit there and look out his rear window. And guess what? This guy's wife has gone missing. Ain't that a suspicious conundrum? And so the whole movie is him and his girlfriend and his like nurse person, and they're just looking out the window and they're like, do we think this guy killed her? What do we think? Mr. Detective Friend, I'm gonna call you up. Hey, is she dead? Nah, she went on a trip somewhere.
To the
How could
country.
that be? She left her wedding ring
And her
then
bag.
it's a
And her
great movie.
bag.
and her favorite purse. I think this movie is really, really good. I think the set design's really good. The fact that everything within the movie is diegetic, all the music and background noise is just coming from across the street, and that really sets the tone for a lot of stuff. Because for most of it, there's just no music. It's just like the characters speaking and just background noise from
It's
across the street.
really funny.
It's really funny. The fact that it just takes place from across the street and there's very little dialogue. Like all the characters across the street, we know them and we know their lives, but we don't know anything they're saying the whole time. Like there's this newly married couple that are always having sex, and that's really funny. There's this lady who's really lonely and tries to kill herself, and that's really funny. And there's this guy who who's playing the piano, and he really doesn't like what he's playing, and he gets drunk, and he probably tries to kill himself. But then everything is great.
Thing I do want to say, this is the most confusing aspect of the movie, is the first time it cuts to the guy on the piano, people in our theater started clapping for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know that one.
For some reason, it was like we weren't in on the backstory behind this, but for some reason,
The theater was packed.
Let's give the backstory behind like what this is, because I don't think people know why we saw Rear Window.
There's the Hitchcock Film Festival where I saw those other movies in that one big theater that I saw them in.
Okay, but let's give the full story. So Aiden drives a car, and the movie starts at 7:30.
We left at 7, and I suggested we walk. And I suggested we walk there because it's a 20-minute walk.
Well, I was just like, I feel like it'd be easier to drive. So we drive there, and then I say to Aiden, oh, there's this parking spot right there. He's like, no, there's not. And then he's like, oh, I see this parking spot, but I don't know how to parallel park.
Why was Beck driving?
No. Aiden was like, I don't know how to parallel park. And I'm like, okay. And then someone stole that parking spot. Eventually, we have been driving, trying to find a spot for 20 minutes. And it is now 7:28. And we have found a parking spot. Do you guys know where the Stanford Theater is by Pizza My Heart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know where the Whole Foods is?
Uh-huh.
Now go 2 blocks away from the Stanford Theater from the Whole Foods. And that's where we had to park. And we parked there 2 minutes before the movie was starting. So me and Aiden had to sprint all the way there to get there in time. And we didn't even make it there in time because the movie had already started.
We missed the intro credits.
Yeah.
Very sad.
But it was maybe the most packed theater I've seen in 4 years. Like there were so many people there. It was crazy. And it was like an actual like film reel projecting it, and that was cool. Like it really felt like you were getting
funny when it
like this was how Hitchcock
really
was first projected to people.
This is how Hitchcock intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think I think the movie some peak shit there.
Yeah,
and then
I thought it was definitely way better than when I watched it in film class.
Why the change?
I feel like watching any film in film class can make it worse.
I mean, when we were in the theater, me and Beck were both literally like in our seats, shivering, stressed, tense from the movie that was playing in front of us, even though we knew exactly what was going to happen.
It was really tense. Yeah.
Which goes to show the power of Hitchcock filmmaking.
So, Aiden, I think you need to rewatch Inside because
maybe
I feel
no, because Inside was good. I just don't like it.
That's what I said. Oh my god, dude, rewatch it. Rewatch Little Women.
No.
Oh my god,
No.
dude. Oh my god. Okay, well, so we finish Rear Window, and we're like, okay. It's a double
like,
feature. So we're gonna watch the other movie. It was a movie I feel like I have like heard referenced before. It's a movie called Dial M for Murder. But I could
Boy,
not
Mm.
I have never like seen any images from it. I could not tell you the plot. I couldn't tell you any of the characters. But I'm like,
Perhaps there's a murder.
this is gonna be kind of
Perhaps they dialed M.
boring. This is gonna be cringe because it's gonna be a boring Hitchcock movie. Blah blah blah.
Like Rear Window, right?
Yeah, like we're when like the first time I watched Rear, and I'm like, maybe me and Angel just leave. You know, maybe I go knock up and be like,
I wouldn't have.
hey, do you want to leave? But I don't. I sit down there
Mm-mm.
and I'm like, okay. The first scene, I'm like a bit confused. Like these two people being like, I was cheating on my husband. I sent this letter. And then we cut to this other guy. This other guy, he calls someone and he's like, hey, I want to buy your car. The guy comes
He doesn't
over and
wanna
he's
buy his
like,
car.
you know, I've been stalking you. I know your whole platform. I know all the illegal stuff you've been doing. I need you to murder my wife. And this is when I was fucking hooked on the film. And I'm like, wait, this is really good. Because it's like, it's done so well. And then it's like, I need you to murder my wife. And he walks through this entire meticulous plan where nothing could go wrong. And how he could get away with murdering his wife because he knows that his wife is cheating on him. Because he's the one that stole the letter from her purse that they were talking about in the first scene. So he has this whole plan. And then we cut to the night of the murder that he plans to do it. And stuff starts going wrong. And he's like, his wife
Everything goes wrong, by the
asks
way.
for his key. And he's like, oh, I can't give her the key because then I need to plant it for the burglar to break in. Uh-oh. But then it all works out. He gets to the restaurant. He's supposed to call the person to signal this is when you should murder my wife. But his watch stopped and he's 20 minutes late or something, or like 5 minutes late. So he doesn't know what to do. But then it eventually all works out. He rings him. The guy starts choking the wife out. It's all going perfect. But then the wife grabs a pair of scissors and stabs him, and the murderer dies on the ground.
That's crazy.
And then
I
the
bet
rest.
she dialed them for murder.
Well, no, because like
No, when he goes to call the phone to kill her, he hovers over the M, which is like 5 and 6 or like whatever number it is.
yeah,
And he has to dial the M to do
murder.
the
Yes.
the murder. Yeah.
so he does that, and then he starts panicking, and the rest of the film is him trying to like cover up the murder that he orchestrated and that went wrong. And eventually the wife actually gets blamed for the murder and is about to be hanged. So this guy's living on fucking cloud 9. He kills the guy that could have like told him about the murder, and his wife is going to get hanged. So he just gets the the will money he wanted. But then this crime novelist and the inspector of police discover the ruse, and he gets caught because of some things with the key, and he was spending money. But like, I can't really get into the details, but it's like the evidence is very well placed, and it makes a lot of sense how they're actually able to catch him, and it's really ingenious. It does get a bit slow, like after the wife is convicted for the murder, and like after like the murder happens, it's a bit slow. It's still really good, and then the wife gets arrested for the murder, and when they have to like prove her innocent, I feel like they sometimes have like a bit too much plot inconsistency where like the crime novelist like, okay, let's say hypothetically you were to do the exact steps that he
Let's say
planned for them,
hypothetically.
and he instantly guesses all of them correct, which felt very lucky, you know? But overall, it's a fucking amazing movie, and definitely better than Rear Window in my opinion.
Really?
Like it was really good. I liked it so much.
I think Beck doesn't like Rear Window.
I liked
So,
Rear Window
yeah.
this time, but this one was just way better than Rear Window.
Beck gave
Damn.
Rear Window a 3 and Dial M for Murder a 4.5.
Wow.
I might bring it down to a 4, but
Oh, okay.
it's still an
Damn.
insanely good movie.
Wow. Well, you guys are now Hitchcock.
I've seen 3
fanatics.
Hitchcock movies. I don't think that makes
I've
us.
seen 4 Hitchcock
Well,
movies.
Well, you know what? I have only seen 3 Hitchcock movies, but I've now seen 4 Tarantino movies.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You
transition.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Once
though.
Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now,
Leonardo
when I
DiCaprio, he puts at the screen.
when I watched Kill Bill, Aiden was like, "Wow, so you really are watching all the Tarantino movies. You must like feet." And I'm like, "Why do you say that?" And then I realized, oh, there's this idea going around that Tarantino really likes feet.
This
like-
idea?
It was an idea, and I'm like, okay. And then I kind of see it in like Kill Bill and the other ones. I'm not kidding you. This movie, he's so fucking blatant with it. It's crazy. He has like the feet rest on the dashboard and the camera go directly into them. It's like every single like 5 minutes there's someone with their blankest feet out there. It's so like out there. It's crazy. But outside of that, the like plot of the actual movie, I could not tell you what the plot of this movie is. It's like one of those movies where it's like it kind of is like
It's sort of a new rendition of 60s Hollywood history where we follow Leonardo DiCaprio as he's trying to make his way as like
he's
an
like
actor, and his stuntman Cliff Booth played by Brad
he's
Pitt.
like hit his peak and he's like kind of on the downslump, but he's trying to bring himself back. And the stuntman somehow finds his way into a farm full of cultists. I don't know what his plot line is, but do you want to know who I don't even know why they exist? What the fuck was Margot Robbie's character doing in this movie?
Sharon Tate, because of Beck. I don't know if you know this, because Sharon Tate was actually killed by Charles Manson, and her and her baby. So it's kind of a new version of history where she survives. You know.
I don't understand what's the Manson thing.
So you know Charles Manson?
I don't.
You don't know Charles Manson?
I don't know Charles.
Aiden, do you know Charles Manson?
I recognize the name. Let me Google him.
Was he the cult guy?
He's a famous cult leader, one of the most famous throughout history. You really should know him. And it's like he had this like big cult thing where he and a bunch of his cult members, they went to Sharon Tate's house, and who was a famous actress in the 60s, real actress, and they killed her and her child, and he went to jail. And essentially, some people argue that the murder of Sharon Tate, right? That's her name, right?
Yeah.
That was the end of the 60s, because the 60s was this really big Hollywood era, and then like so here's like
so this is like an alternate reality where it's like if she didn't die, the 60s would have continued onward.
Yeah, because Tarantino was really into the idea of old Hollywood and like that sort of era.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of a love letter to that time period, because through the fictional characters of Leonardo DiCaprio's character and Brad Pitt's character, it lives on. Let's just say,
Yeah.
It's sort of a love letter to that era.
Let me tell you something. Like, I feel like not as much with like Kill Bill, but with Pulp Fiction and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I watched them both with like a group of friends, and it was like so funny just watching like how absurd things got. Like, but I feel like the final scene of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like some like the most fun I've had like watching a movie, because it was like the 3 cult members, they show up to the guy's house and they're like, we're gonna chop their dicks off, and the stunt guy starts smoking like a cigarette that's dipped in acid, so he's tripping balls. And they go and they bring him to the house, and the guy's like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking cook. And then he whistles, and the dog starts biting the guy's balls off. He throws a can of dog food, and it like impales a woman's face. And then like all hell breaks loose. Was like DiCaprio's Italian wife joins in. It's impossible to describe this. It's like so crazy. And then in the end, like one of the women like that's attacking jumps in and falls into the pool, and Leonardo DiCaprio has no idea what's going on. He sees her fall into the pool. He's like, what the fuck's happening? He runs into his garage and he grabs a fucking flamethrower and aims it in the middle of the pool and burns her alive in the middle of the pool. It was so fun.
Yeah,
oh my,
okay.
It was so fun.
The one thing you can say about Tarantino, like, it's just he has fun times in his movie. You
It's
just
so
have
fun. It's like
just
when I
watching
was
people get
watching
murdered.
Pulp Fiction, and it's like all the crazy shit's happening. Oh,
Yeah, and because I found it to be one of my more favorite Tarantino movies. 'Cause it's just like it doesn't really have a succinct plot, but it's just fun watching this kind of
yeah.
love letter. And
And
it's like
I
it's such
do
a fun
think
movie.
some of the DiCaprio stuff was really good. Like when he's like trying to do that like Western scene, and he like starts breaking down and like trying to like actually like pull it all together to like actually like nail his role. I really felt that. I felt like it was really compelling.
Yeah, it's a very compelling movie. What do you give in Letterboxd?
Like a 7. I feel like some of it was like boring with like some of the Brad Pitt stuff, like and like I didn't get any of the Margot Robbie stuff. I didn't know like it was like the whole like deep story with like the Manson family and the whole like 60s era ending. So me and my friends were like, what the fuck did Margot Robbie do the entire movie? She just existed.
Yeah. Have you seen Glorious and Django?
They're next on my list. I just
Yeah,
don't. It's
those
hard
are
to
two
find like a place to watch them.
Yeah, yeah. No, those are two really fun back-to-back ones to go with because they're both like alternate history kind of.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. Well,
no.
let's get into the final thing I watched, which is also a thing Aiden watched. Smiling Friends, the
Penis
2-episode premiere. We've already seen one of the episodes because that was released on April Fool's. But we get to talk about episode 2 of
So
President.
2, the president episode.
All right, Aiden, how about you talk because my throat is dying.
All right. So Alan and Pim and Bluff and Charlie, they're all hanging around in the office, and they're like, Pim, who are you voting for? And Pim is like, oh, I think I'm gonna vote for Mr. Squiggly Wiggly because he's the president. Charlie, what are you gonna vote for? And Charlie's like, well, Pim, I don't believe in politics. We're all peons in this world. And then Mr. Boss comes in, he says, boys, guess who just got a job to make the president smile? And then he goes, oh. So then they gotta go make the president, who's this bumbling buffoon of an idiot,
Live
covered
action
in
guy
lamb,
that loves lamb.
live action man covered in lamb sauce, and he shits himself constantly. They gotta make him become like a competent president, but he's not one of those. He's not a competent guy. He's a big dummy, and
He keeps getting bullied.
and yeah, for shitting himself. And Mr. Frog is running for president also.
Yeah. You guys know Mr. Frog, right? The guy who went on Jimmy Fallon, said all the racist slurs, you know?
Yeah. And they don't want Mr. Frog to win because they know that he sucks. So they're like, guys, what is the president's name again?
Lamb guy.
His name is Squiggly Wiggly. No, President Jimble. Right? Jimble. Yeah. So President Jimble, he is failing everything, and he's a debate against Charlie, or he has a debate against Mr. Frog.
No, you're forgetting a lot of major plot lines.
I'm not there yet. And so he has a debate the next day, and Charlie's like, you know what? Screw this. This sucks. I'm leaving. Pim, you got this. And Pim is like, I don't got this, man, but I'll try. And so he's trying to leave the White House, and then he comes across this room full of worms. The worms, they control everything. They control the news. They control politics. They really want Mr. Frog to win. they have this whole cult following against Mr. Frog. And then Charlie accidentally says that Mr. Frog eats bugs, and they're like, "Oh shit, bugs! Oh, bugs eat worms!" And they switch their whole ideology around, and they're like, "No, we have to have President Jimbo win." And they rigged the debate in his favor, and now it's 50-50 in the voting. Only one vote. So who's gonna win, Mr. Jimbo or Mr. Frog? And guess what? Mr. Frog wins. Glep voted for Mr. Frog. And that's how the episode ends. Great episode.
You cut out. We did not
Really?
hear what name you said.
Mr. Frog wins.
No, you didn't.
I heard
Who
that.
voted?
We heard that.
Who was the deciding vote?
Glep was, and they doxed him. His full name, address, height, his sex is green. So cool.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about the stuff he missed, where it was like
I didn't miss anything.
he's like trying to win over votes, and he's like, guys, I'm gonna give every person $250 million. And then we cut to Charlie's checking his phone. Is like, Pam, turn on the TV. It doesn't matter which channel, and the entire economy is collapsed. And then he's like, guys, I need to talk. He's like, okay, I need to like up my view ratings. I need to introduce this person. And he's like, this person, really good guy. And it's like, this guy murdered 8 children. You're supposed to condone or condemn him. You were like, now everyone hates you. So, yeah. Funny show.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait. So
I
what?
can't wait
It's
for
Adult
the-
Swim, right?
Adult
Yeah.
Swim.
Yeah. And so is there still more episodes
Sundays,
left in season 2?
midnights.
There's 8 more episodes.
And
Okay.
Or no,
Episodes.
wait. Yeah, no, wait, no. Are there 10 episodes or are there 8 episodes?
I don't know.
There were 8 in season 1, and then the Brazil episode.
Smiling friends go to Brazil.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I would like to watch the show. It does sound funny. And
It is
yeah.
funny.
Nicholas, is there
It's on
anything?
Mac.
And Nicholas, is there anything you've been watching?
I've literally watched nothing.
Great for you. We never finished our news roundup. I wanted to get to Amazon Prime.
I do want to know
Oh.
what was announced at Amazon Prime. Fallout
Okay, so
Season
guys,
2.
here's a
new-
really
Yep.
great thing for me. The Summer I Turned Pretty, season 3, guys. Come on.
Why is that great? That sounds awful.
No, it's great. Nicholas' friend is gonna love it.
Has
Nicholas'
she
friend is
turned
gonna
pretty
love it.
yet?
She had a few summers of that, And by pretty, that means she took off her glasses.
Oh, she took off her glasses and became
Ah.
more beautiful.
Or-
Rings of Power returns August 29th. They released a trailer. And
they
then, guys,
got
yeah, I remember.
Sauron in
I know
this
you,
one.
because they had Sauron in season 1.
No, it's like they were teasing who is Sauron, and they finally
we know
revealed-
who it is in the end of season 1.
Yeah, but now.
But
we
guys, you gotta remember
see-
this. I know you guys aren't Lord of the Rings fans, but I sort of am. And season 1 was not a really very good season, unfortunately. I would say for the most part it was
But
boring.
they spent $1
and it was-
billion making it. That means it has to
And
be good.
unfortunately, it was competing against House of the Dragon at the same time, and I just preferred House of the Dragon. So I looked at the trailer for this new season. It looks fine, I'm gonna have to say. But there's nothing really about it that seemed that kind of into it, because they're not using not following any source material, because this is totally new, and are just kind of.
And as we know from Game of Thrones, you should always try doing your own thing from the source material. It never goes wrong.
No, not that. There's I don't know. There's gonna be another season of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, season 2.
But not with the same
Um,
people, is what I heard.
No, it's the same people, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
No, it doesn't have them.
It
No, it's
doesn't.
not.
It doesn't have Donald Glover in my Erskine.
No, because it's an anthology.
It's gonna be an
Ooh.
anthology.
Yeah.
There is 2 more things. For some reason, Jake Gyllenhaal's Roadhouse
Two!
movie is gonna get
Oh.
another one.
which one?
Jake Gyllenhaal's Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. I have not seen it.
Yeah, but it was pretty bad. It was not that good. It's getting another one, which it's already a remake of a movie, and now they're making a sequel. And I don't know, it's just kind of dumb. I didn't really enjoy the movie. Now Now here's the big one. I think we've
Cable
rid-
2.
what?
Cable 2. Netflix and Apple and Peacock are combining to make one streaming service. We're
Yeah.
gonna have Cable 2.
It's
Yeah,
more like a
monopolies.
bundle rather than just one streaming
Yeah.
service.
So here's the thing. This is the one I was going to talk about, but we can talk about this.
And also, like, when people say
Um,
cable too, this is way better than cable because it's like every single, like,
It's way better than cable because the writers and actors don't get paid residuals.
okay, but they'd reorganize a deal for
Precisely.
that.
but Beck can
But,
watch.
like,
They
Beck can
will.
watch Scavenger's Reign, The Owl House, and the My Hero Academia at the same time.
wow,
You're right.
that
Yeah.
those
Ultimate
are
loser.
all on three
Hey,
separate
okay.
services.
I'm gonna say it does seem like kind of just like it's repeating cable, I guess. But
But
it's
like you have
it does seem
access to
kind of-
everything, unlike cable, where you had to like
Yeah.
actually tape stuff.
Are you guys gonna get the package? You think?
I don't pay
Man,
for
I
any
only-
streaming
I don't
services
pay-
right now, so
I only pay for Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah.
you just hold it
So
all the way
sad.
until Ted season 2.
Yeah.
Okay, The Boys season 5. Now, The Boys season 4.
I feel like they
hasn't-
need to greenlight season 6 soon. You know,
They do not need to greenlight season 6.
No,
the
no,
show
'cause
needs to be.
I feel like we need season 4 is like them saying, guys, we gotta take down Homelander, and then season 5 is them saying, guys, we need to take down Homelander, but for real this time. And season 6 is like
Yeah.
9 episodes. It's like we gotta take down Homelander. And season 10
Beck,
is
do you not
Jon
like The
Snow
Boys?
shows up and kills Homelander. I feel like that'd be a great end.
Whoa.
Beck, do you not like The Boys?
No, I feel like it just goes on too long.
But I would say I feel like I have a really smart idea for the season 4 and season 5. I don't know why I'm the only one speaking here.
I
but,
feel like no, I thought they needed to do season 5
I
because they
haven't
already
seen it.
confirmed Gen V season 2. So I feel like it's gonna be
Yeah.
like season 4 is them doing something that sets up Gen V season 2 and then it ends with season 5.
Yeah, I really hope season 5 is the last season because it makes
Yeah, no, I was
other
joking.
show-
I wanted 4 to be the last one.
I feel like I see an idea for season 5 where it's like they build up this thing where it's like, yeah, it's like I feel like season 4
Like
and
season 4 is gonna be the build up of Homelander to like his peak, and then season 5 is gonna be
I think
his fall.
season 5 they need to like talk to him and be like, you can be a good person.
No,
That's a
Wow.
justifiable
fucking-
ending.
I really want season 4 and season 5 to be like a part 1 and part 2 of
No,
like a
it's
big
gonna
final
end with
season.
him dead.
You know?
Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
Like
yeah.
a season 1, part 1 and part 2.
It's
And I
hard
feel
to
like that
like
makes the most
parts when
sense.
you're dealing with like 10 hours of show though.
I don't know. They did that for like the last season of Ozark and Breaking Bad in a way because they split the season up into like 2 parts. But this
Oh,
is
yeah.
2 different separate seasons.
Yeah.
But I would say I think this is what they have to do. They have to do, as Nikola said, they have to really build up like the
Yeah.
character. But he finally loses the love of the people because like okay, let's break down the Homelander's kind of story throughout the show. So in the season 1, he gets like a really big. He ends season 1 like kind of more with a big power trip, right? Because like he gets one over Butcher and he finds Becca
Yeah.
and his child. Season 2, we see him kind of lose the power, but with Stormfront, he gets it. But then at the end of the season, he loses it, and he starts season
Yeah.
3 off in like a really bad spot. But eventually, he gets the most power he has ever gotten by the end of the season with the love of the people. With the love of people, the people he wanted. Season 4, I see him getting really high up, and like we're gonna have the presidential race, obviously, and he's gonna get really high up, but then he's gonna lose the love of his people. I see the cliffhanger of season 4 being like him going crazy, and now he's all alone, so now he has nothing left. And season 5 is like season 5 is just ultimate build up of everything. That's my theory.
All right, one final topic I want to talk about is
No.
Aiden.
No,
No.
I have a whole movie that I haven't.
Can I
about
just
yet.
do this topic and then you can do your movie?
Is it the one that happened?
What?
What?
Is it a different thing than what happened yesterday?
What happened? Yes. Yeah, this is different than what happened yesterday.
Okay, yeah, do the topic then.
So Aiden has been really excited for this one movie called If. And
Oh,
review scores just came out for it. And I think it's It's not looking good. I think IGN
Yeah, that's kinda
IGN
far
gave it
right.
a 4. As like a
Yeah, but you can't trust IGN.
56% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You can't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, well
Then
he's
who can we trust?
Bro is in his main stage of
What did? Hold on.
he's gonna
Aiden,
put on
you're
most
in
obscure.
you're in bargaining right now. This is the stage
he's
you're
in
in.
full denial right now.
Look, listen. Ricky Stenicki got a 47. So if this has a chance. This has a chance.
Ricky Stenicki was fine, Aiden, by the way. It was fine.
Ricky Stenicki was the best movie of the year so far until If comes out, and that might top it, depending on how it goes.
You're looking on. You're trying to grasp for straws.
Depending on how it works out, it might be the best movie of the year. If not, it's going to go to Garfield. And if not, it's going to go to Deadpool. And if not, it's going to Inside Out. So
Wait.
You're putting Garfield above Inside Out 2 as the better movie of the year?
If it doesn't go
Your
to there,
prediction is Garfield is going to be better than Inside Out 2?
it very well might be.
what about
Oh my-
Twisters?
Okay,
It's not-
but speaking of that, is I
Joker? Venom 3?
I did not want to see If, but I struck a deal with Aiden where I'd see if he watched Furiosa, and Furiosa got a 10 out of 10 from IGN, a glowing review from Hideo Kojima, and I think, what was it, like a 7-minute standing ovation at a film festival? So,
yeah.
I feel like we know what the better film is going to be.
And that's why we watched the better one first, which is If. We watched If first, and then we go
I
see
will
the other
suffer
movie. And
through
we'll,
If.
In other news,
Aiden
Madam
can
Web was
enjoy
just added to
Furiosa.
Madam Web was just added to Netflix.
Netflix.
I
So
can
now you guys
finally
can
watch it.
it.
Yeah.
I
But
can
okay,
finally see how
Beck,
good
you
it
gotta
is.
understand that Aiden, we watched
You watched Madam Web with
we
me.
watched Dune 2 and then you watched Ricky
No, wait. No, you
Stenicki.
watched Argo. Wait.
So
You
I
watched-
don't know what
Wait,
that
who
tells you.
Wait, who watched Madam Web with me? No, it was Beck.
I watched Madam Web with you, and you left halfway through. It was so funny.
No, Nikola watched Argyle with me, right? I forgot. I mixed it up.
Argyle was peak. I still don't get why Beck didn't like it.
What,
It wasn't peak,
Argyle?
but it was really good. It wasn't
I
bad.
mean,
It wasn't
I
as bad
hate
as
it, but
Beck
I
said
mean,
it
I
was.
can't argue with the thumbnail. Whatever the thumbnail says must be true, you know?
I mean,
Exactly.
it's actually the movie of the year, so
I don't know.
I feel like I was looking through of 2024 movies, and I feel like we've had a decent year so far. What do we have?
We had Dune 2,
All right,
Challengers,
we have Dune 2,
Civil War.
Turtles All the Way Down, Civil War, Ricky Stenicki, Ted, Baby Reindeer, Fall Guy, Challengers, Orion. Like, those are all fire movies.
Yeah.
And then the bottom half, okay, well, about half the movies were good. The other half,
I don't know. I didn't hate the trailer for it. It looked interesting to me, I would say.
it looks like a fun movie.
It was like a fun movie.
I just want a fun movie with Ryan Reynolds and Steve Carell and John Krasinski.
And a little girl.
Yeah.
yeah, and Rubber Hose.
But so you guys are gonna both watch in like an Barbenheimer way, like
yeah,
if
Yeah.
FuriosIF.
Yeah, we're gonna do FuriosIF.
Okay, Aiden, what's your last movie?
All right. I was like, after we watched Dial M for Murder, I was like, you know what? This movie really would be really good as a funny comedy movie. And then I was like, what's a funny comedy murder mystery movie?
Ricky
I know.
Stenicki 2, The Death of Ricky Stenicki.
Clue, the movie based on the board game Clue.
Isn't it
So,
called Cluedo?
No, you're not British.
But
so-
no, but the people in Dial M for Murder were, so you have to keep with the British theme.
No.
You must call it
So-
Cluedo throughout the rest of the episode.
Are we familiar with the board game of Clue?
Doe.
Yeah.
Say no.
Yeah. No, I said Doe.
Have
You
you
don't know-
never played?
Yes or no,
You
Beck?
never played Clue, Beck?
Cluedo.
Why are you saying Cluedo?
Because it's the name of the
Because
board
That's
game.
his joke.
Because he's British and gross.
You're British and gross.
I'm role playing
So
British.
have you played Clue, the
No.
board game? You have not.
I have.
Yes or no?
I keep saying do, and you keep thinking I'm saying no.
Yeah, but do's not an answer.
No, I'm trying to like. He says clue, and then I say do to finish it. You know, like symmetry.
I'm muting Beck.
Okay, all right.
Unmute him, Murray. There you
I did.
go. It's broken.
He broke. Anyway,
His
continue,
mic
Aiden.
isn't working anymore.
His mic is not even working. Aiden, continue talking about it.
Okay, so there's these 6 characters. They're invited to this mansion in the middle of New England, in England, and there's this butler. His name is Wadsworth, and he's played by Tim Curry. And I'm just gonna call him Tim Curry
I'm
because
escaping
Wadsworth
to the one place not corrupted by capitalism.
Ice. So Tim Curry welcomes all 6 of our characters into the billiard room, and I will be using the clue board to point at all the rooms because the set of the house in the movie is exactly set up like the board game, which is really cool. So they go to the billiard room, and they all hang out in the billiard room until everyone arrives. And also there's this maid, her name is Yvette. So then they all go to the dining room, and they all eat dinner there until the host shows up, Mr. Body. Now, if you've played Clue, you know that Mr. Body is the guy who dies, and that's who you're finding the murder of. So then they all go to the study, and they're like, everyone's there because they're being blackmailed by Mr. Body. Mr. Body is blackmailing all of them for various reasons, such as being a prostitute, sleeping with a prostitute, murdering their husbands, being a homosexual, regular things to be blackmailed
We hate
for.
those.
They're all here in the study, and they're like, wait a minute, why don't we just like call the police and then have them arrest Mr. Body, and then our problems will be solved? And then Mr. Body's like, don't worry, guys, I have gifts for everyone. And he hands out to all the 6 characters that are named the characters in the board game. They each get given a weapon: a revolver for Mr. Plum, a lead pipe for Mr. Green. Peacock gets a knife. Scarlet gets the fucking gets the what does she get? The candles. The candlestick. Mustard gets the wrench, and the rope goes to Mrs. White. Well, guys, those are the weapons in the board game. I don't know if you knew that.
I
So
did.
this game is this game is kind of like a game adaptation, you know?
Like an adaptation of a game. So then Mr. Body's like, guys, I have a great idea. Let's just kill the butler. Wouldn't that be so cool? You all have weapons. Just kill the butler. And then he turns off the lights, and you hear a gunshot, and the lights come back on, and guess what? Mr. Body is dead.
I'm so shocked.
No signs of a wound anywhere. No, the gun went off, but there's a gun hole in the wall. No one shot him. But Mr. Plum checks him, and he is dead. He is dead. He's been checked by Plum.
I think the plot twist is going to be that he's not actually dead.
So then they're like, okay, who could have done the murder? Maybe it was poison. And then you hear Yvette from the other room. She screams and she says, guys, we're in you trapped me in the room with the murderer. They're like, who's the murderer? She's like, it's right in front of me. It's one of you guys. They're like, oh, come on, Yvette. You're so stupid. And then they go back, and guess what? Mr. Body's body is gone. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so crazy.
So then they're like, who could have done it? Maybe it was the chef. She's the only other person in the house that wasn't here. And they go to the kitchen. They run from the study all the way to the kitchen in the other side of the house. And guess what? The chef is dead. Isn't that crazy, guys? And the knife. It's the knife. She's been killed by the knife.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy, right? So then they're like, wow, guys, this is super crazy. She's dead. The chef is dead. Mr. Body is dead. So then they're like, what are we going to do? But then there's a knock at the door. It's a guy who needs to use the phone. And they're like, okay, we'll let this guy use the phone. And they lock him in the lounge. And then also they lock all the weapons in a cabinet, and they throw the key outside so nobody can get into the cabinet. And then
Well,
they
you can
split up.
find rope like throughout the rest of the house. It'd be weirdly hard to
No,
stalk
so
it.
then they split up to go find the murderer. They split up to go find the murderer.
I feel like that's a really unique thing, like people splitting up in a horror movie. Like,
And so they split up, and guess what?
They find the murder.
No, a cop shows up.
Pig.
Okay, I skipped over something. What happens is that so Scarlet and Mustard get assigned the base floor plan, and they are in the kitchen or not the kitchen. They're in the observatory in the conservatory, and then they find a secret passage that goes to the lounge. And then guess what? The guy that was in the lounge, he's dead now. He died. He's not alive anymore. And they get locked in there. And guess what? They get locked in there, and they have to break them out. And Yvette, she runs to the cabinet where the weapons are because she was going to break it open to get the gun out to shoot the door to unlock it. But guess what happened? That didn't happen. The gun was already unlocked. The weapon cabinet was already unlocked. And she shoots the gun, and she misses. She hits the chandelier, and then she shoots it again, and she shoots the lock, and they get let free. And then the gun gets thrown to the side. And then a police officer shows up, and they're like, shit, guys. There's 3 dead guys in this house. We cannot let him in. And then they let him in and to use the phone, and they put him in the lounge.
a lot of people need to use the phone.
Yeah, it happens in the woods sometimes. So then they split up again. And this time when they split up, the lights go out. And Yvette dies, and the police dies, and this singing telegram lady who just shows up at the door, and then she gets shot. And so all the weapons have been used to kill at least one person. And then Wadsworth turns on the lights, and he says, guys, I figured it out. And also, by the way, all 6 people that have come through here we're all working for Mr. Body to like get information about the blackmail.
Got it.
So, What's your bets now? Who do you think was the murder?
Mr. Plum.
Miss T killed. It was suicide.
So it actually depends on which theatrical version of the movie you're watching.
Fucking with
If you're watching it on a streaming service, all 3 endings. So there's 3 endings to this movie, actually.
I was really about to ask, is this the one that has multiple endings?
This movie has 3 endings. So the first ending is that Yvette killed the first 3 people, and then Scarlet killed Yvette, the cop, and the last person because of something. I don't remember what. And then the second ending is that Peacock killed all of them because of something that I don't really care about. And then the third ending is that Plum killed Mr. Body, or he missed Mr. Body's shot the first time, and then went to go back to kill him. Peacock killed the chef. Mustard killed the telegram. Mrs. White killed the doesn't matter. They all killed one guy except for Mr. Green, and then the police show up and arrest everybody, including Wadsworth. Well, no, actually, they shoot Wadsworth, and Wadsworth dies, and then Mr. Green is like, if you're wondering who killed the butler, it was Mr. Green. It's a revolver in the doorway. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife. And then that's how the movie ends. And it's really good. So, it's really funny. The mystery is well made. Like, all 3 endings make sense and are like built into the movie. Like, if you go back and rewatch the movie with like each plot point in mind, it all works cohesively.
It's very kaleidoscope-like.
Yeah, maybe. And the one really cool thing they do is that when they call the police at the beginning of the movie, they're like, it's going to take 45 minutes for them to show up. 45 minutes later into the movie, the police show up. Which is just like,
yeah.
I don't know how you plan how you plan something like that well, right? Like, because there's not real, like, everything in the movie is basically real time. There's no time skips or anything. It's just they mathed it out. They mathed out exactly how long everything would take, and it was perfect. It was great. And there's a lot of running joke, like having the 3 different endings allows for like the same joke 3 times. Like there's this one where they're like, "But what about communism?" And they're like, "Communism was just a red herring. I'm a capitalist." And they do that joke 3 times, but it's 3 different characters in 3 different contexts, and that's very fun. And the whole movie is just very fun. And Tim Curry hams it up as always, and is really good. And it's a really funny movie, and I think one of the best game adaptations of all time.
Board games.
And video games.
No.
What do you mean no? What do you think is better than Clue
Arcane.
in terms of game adaptation? No, it's
Fallout,
not.
Arcane.
No.
Wow.
Aiden, you haven't seen Arcane. Arcane's one of the best shows ever made.
Yeah, and Clue is one of the best movies ever made, okay?
Aiden, you
So
haven't
this
seen
is
how
very
good
accurate to
Arcane
the
is.
game, right? I guess.
Well, I mean, the game doesn't have much in terms of game lore, but what's important is that it has everything that is in the game and then builds a thing around it that would still make sense within the context of the game.
Love it.
All
I
right.
gotta watch this. I think I saw this movie like a long time ago, like 10 years ago. I gotta rewatch it.
I feel like I
very
watched
funny.
like an homage episode of a show to this movie.
Yeah, because when did this come out?
2012.
1985,
I could have sworn it was 2012.
maybe.
Beck, what is this joke you keep making? You gotta make this full circle.
I've
if you're gonna-
made it twice already.
So what's the joke?
It came out in 2012.
What's the joke about 2012?
Everything came out in 2012.
Oh,
Speaking of full circle jokes,
Like
if
if
anyone
I
has
ever
anything
don't know
else-
what
out
year
in
something came out, I would
2017,
say it came out in 2012.
well, Nikola, you've said nothing this entire episode, so give us a recommendation.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I recommend you
No, no,
watch
no.
Madam Web on Netflix.
All right. Remember, always use Celsius. We'll see you next
Always
time.
use Celsius.
No, wait, back.
Oh shit! Yeah. We didn't say the weather, guys. Oh, we gotta say the weather again.
Okay. Yesterday.
Guys, I had
Finish
this
it up,
really
guys.
good mac and cheese yesterday from the Melt.
Oh my God. Yesterday, I text back, "Do you want to meet up for lunch today? I have something to give to you."
Yeah.
He's filled with intrigue and mystery.
So I kill a woman and then I go to his house.
Mhm.
Okay, so you know the place where you have all the laser weapons in Freeside?
Yeah.
I basically dragged every weapon into the bathroom and then stole them on, and now I'm over encumbered, so I have to walk over to the gun runner so I can sell them all and make 1,000 caps.
All right. Well, we're at the Melt. We eat, and then I decide to open up this gift, and then Aiden films a video. And in the video, I don't know, but from one of the frames, I looked terrible. This Tuesday was not my day. Because it was also an In Focus episode that day, and they fucked up the lighting so badly, and they had the teleprompter so off, and I looked terrible. But
It's true.
I open up the gift, and then I see a ton of paper towels. And now, Aiden, do you want to say why there were so many paper towels in the box?
To hide the secret that was within the box.
Okay, cool. And then I open it up, and it is 14 films on 8 discs, the entire Land Before Time saga, all 13 sequels. I now own a copy of all of them in
And guess
physical
what,
media.
Nick?
Yeah.
Now you get to watch the movie.
I get to watch all 13 Land Before Time sequels.
Goddamn,
No.
Beck, is this your summer arc? This is a summer arc 2?
We're not making the Land Before Time arc. I need to find a better show than that.
Come
Are
on,
you
Beck.
sure?
We can't do Steven Universe 2. You gotta do Land
We
Before
can
Time.
do Steven Universe Future arc.
I got you the DVDs back. You can watch them now.
Fine, I'll try watching them.
You can complete the running joke that you're gonna watch all of them.
Nikola, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna
Yeah,
do it.
he will.
Anyway, always use Celsius.